Hello once again guys, welcome back. And we are now here for another episode of Statics Playlist wherein we will discuss some of the problems, concepts, and tutorials on statics of rigid bodies under engineering mechanics. So in the previous videos from the statics playlist, if you will watch it on this channel, just click the channel and then you can see the statics playlist on the playlist button. Na dito discuss na to ang concepts of resultants, how to add that, and even some examples. So to be honest guys, based on my experience, this type of problem, I really struggle pod ani no sa una as a first timer. First time na ako na encounter ning inclined plane problems nang minus man gyud kog background sa mathematics and geometry. And kanang pagbulong sa what anang angle ani nga dapat angay gamiton. Karon di ata dire to study it once again to show you and help you if you are also one of me. The same. Na experience, medyo struggle ane. Inganion rin siya guys. Muna ako na-learn. So if we have an inclined plane, basically, kana siya a plane that is inclined with, say, theta rosa for general. Inclined at an angle. So this is the horizontal, this is the floor, and then this is the plane. Think of it as a book, for example, then you rotate the book paana. And this is now the plane of the book. So, ang common nga kuan ani is tagaan ka og force nga paana or paana. And depende. And suppose, just for simplicity, but nga natog box. And what are the forces acting on it? Of course, the weight force is always towards the center of the earth. Sige, ra na siyang downwards. Ana, ra na siya, sige. Kay kung flat pa na siya, ana ra na siya ang iyang weight sa box. But in terms of this inclined plane, dili po dagay mo inana na ng weight sa box, matakilid pod. Of course, ang weight ana niya, sige ra gyud na siyang downwards. And then, to tell you ahead, ang kini daw dire, say this is the normal reaction of the plane. Ana siya. If we draw a line pa ingon dire, ana. This angle daw is equal to the inclination, kani theta, is equal to this one. I will tell you later on ngano na siyang equal. Then another is this one. We have another force here. For example, an angle between this one and this one is equal to theta. Then sa pamay of course, this force we will break down that down to its components. That's why guys, kung intuitively, kung inyo imaginon, kung lingkod mo og slide, wa man untay gatulod ninyo, but if molingkod mo directly to the slide, iba na may force nga motulod ninyo paingog downward, mo slide gyud mo. That's because the weight is no longer directly towards the plane you're sitting on. Na siya component nga gatulod nimo downwards along this plane. That's why nga na. So going back, ngano na siyang nahitabo nga this one ana is theta man na siya, or this one equal man aning inclination. That's because of the concept of this one. If we have two lines that are parallel to each other and traversed by another line, kini daw, if this is theta, this is also theta daw. And then, sa pa may lain, if this is theta, this is also theta. Just imagine this as letter Z. Kani siya. If this is another angle alpha, ang iya equivalent is this side. And this vertical angles alpha. And then for this one above, this is theta. These are vertical angles. And then, kini sila, these are alternate interior angles. And this one, alternate exterior. Kani sila. And kani alpha po ni. So that's it. Mo kuno siya sinugdanan na ni tanan. So if we draw it again, kung mao ni siya, for example, ang force na to, ngano ni siyang theta po dire. Kana mo na siya atong question, nganon theta pud ning dio. Equal ngano equal na siya ani. Because if we draw a line right here, let's use another color. Ana, and let's say that's 90 degrees on that perpendicular. Ito na, tapos gawas ibutang. And then another line here. And then for this time kanina po this is diri na po kuan perpendicular siya ani nga line. And kani siya perpendicular ani. We can create an relation. So the sum, just take note always that the sum of the interior angles of a triangle is always equal to 180. Magano siya. Always gonna siya equal to 180. So if we have 90 here and theta here, therefore what is this angle here? So if we equate that, let's say this is angle, what do you want? Alpha. Say that's alpha. Then that would be this 90 plus theta plus alpha. Or in other words, if we transpose this one, that would be 180 minus 90. Therefore, alpha is equal to 90 minus theta. Transposing this one to the other side. So now that we know that this is 90 minus theta here, this is, let's write it down, 90 minus theta here. What would be this angle here? We knew that this is a right triangle angle again. So if this is 90 here, this is perpendicular, you know that. Then, this is 90 here. Then this one would be theta. Because 90 minus theta, this one, plus this angle, let's say, again, this is, let's just say that that's x. 90 minus theta plus x is equal to 90. Why 90? Because this is perpendicular to this one. So, kini daw, 90. Based sa atong assumption dere, 90. That's perpendicular. So, if we find the value of x, therefore, x is equal to, transposing this 90 to the other side, makancel na. May mo siyang 90 minus 90. And then this negative, may mo siyang positive, plus theta. So, therefore, this angle would be, that x would be equal to theta. So, with this one, theta man and from the knowledge we learned a while ago, nga vertical angles are congruent, this one, since this angle is that angle, that's why kini siya nahimo na siyang theta. And then for the other one, kini siya theta po ni siya because these two forma siya z. These are alternate interior angles. That's why. So ang pinaka timan-an na gyud ninyo ani kung na-incline, then na ay force acting directly downward sa koan, just create a line that is perpendicular to the plane and boom, kani siya equal na dayon ani. Ana lang. Or kung balihon ba ang incline, ana yung perpendicular mo ni siya theta. Or kung paana mo lagi to, ana dito, kini siya theta. Ana lang. So, if we answer this problem to apply what we just learned, we can draw the free body diagram of this system. It's like this. We have a box, and then this is, and we just have to draw this one, the line perpendicular. So if this is 30, automatic this is 30. Then it has component here, and then component here. And then the other force here, which is this green, 600, the angle between that is this one. It's 30. Alright? So that's it. This one. Hope you see that. Okay? And also this P. We are also tasked to find what's P, given that this is 15 degrees. So by creating, wait, I just have to draw the component first. Something like that. And then for this one, it's like this. So that's the components. Ooh, all messed up. So by creating an axis along the plane, let's call this X, and let's call this Y. We can sum all the forces in the X and all the forces in the Y and get the resultant R. But since you look at this, the resultant is up along the incline, there would be no motion in this Y we have here. Because the box ain't moving towards the plane. There's no motion in that. The only motion is along the plane. Okay? So if we do that, we sum all the forces in the X, we will get the resultant. Resultant squared is equal to sum of the forces in the X squared plus sum of the forces in the Y squared. And we already know that the sum of the forces in the Y, there's no motion, then that would be 0. And taking the square root of both sides, doesn't matter if we take the positive of or negative of this one. Kasi since quadratic ni siya, naamang yun yung positive and negative root. Doesn't matter because resultant always have a positive. That's why pwede rata mo direkta. But on some problems, dapat i-consider yun ang negative. So with this one, our resultant is just the sum of the forces in the X. So what are the sum of the forces in the X? It's simply, this one is 600 cosine of 30. This one, 600 cosine of 30. And then, 600 cosine of 30. What's the other one? Minus this one. That's the weight, which is 200 sine of 30. That's going negative. That's minus 200 sine 200 sine of 30. And then the third one, which is p sine of 15. That's also going negative, so minus p sine 15. So that's it. We have the resultant. And now to find what's p, we know that the sum of the forces in the y is equal to 0, because there's no motion. Let's say this is equation 1, this is equation 2. We can get, what do we have here? This is p cosine of 15, this component right here. And then this one, that's 200 cosine of 30. I think these are only the 600 sine of 30. So we add all of that. Wala na ba tayo na miss? So p 600. Huwag kaning weight. So okay na. Nakining tulo 1. Then 2. And then 3. So p cos 15. Then downwards na ng duha. So p cos 15 minus 200 cos 30 and 600 sin 30. Cos 30 minus 600 sine of 30. That all equal to 0. And if we get our calculator and plug this all in, we should get p, the value of p as 489.9 pounds. And then substituting that p to this equation, r should be 292.8 pounds. So that's it. These are now the values of p or r we're tasked to find out. So just a recap, what we did is just get the components, of course. These are the components of that 600. Components of this 200. This one. And then the components of this p, which is this forces, very small. And then make an arbitrary axis, xy. And then sum all the forces in the x and all the forces in the y. And since there is no motion or movement in the along this y direction, we equate that to 0 to find p. And then as we sum all the forces in the x, and since the y is 0, therefore the resultant is directly the sum of the forces in the x. So that's how we find out this problem. Thank you so much as always for watching, and peace out.